Hi everybody, welcome to another episode of Sal Says What's Friday Comic Roundup. I've got 3 Marvel trade paperbacks that I want to share with you today, and the reason why this one is special is because they're all 5 out of 5s. So let's get started with one of my favorites. This is a recent new classic for me, Avengers: The Children's Crusade by Jim Cheung and Alan Heinberg. This book is what Marvel summer events are supposed to be. Steeped in continuity, great art, sharp writing, terrific story, fun characters, across the board, fantastic stuff from this trade. This really slipped under the radar. I believe it was going on around the time of Secret Invasion, and so people didn't really get a chance to look at this as closely as they should have, but they should definitely, if they hadn't seen it before, check it out now. It's a fantastic crossover. It features the Young Avengers. Alan Heinberg actually helped kind of cultivate the Young Avengers and create them when he wrote their first stories, and what their place is in the grand scheme of the Marvel Universe. It's a fantastic story featuring new / underutilized characters. But don't worry, there's also plenty of established core Marvel characters in here as well. And of course, you've got Doctor Doom, so how can you beat that? It's a fantastic crossover, 5 out of 5 for art, writing, story, character, and it even plays with continuity without actually getting lazy about it. So check it out, pick it up. I've got it in hardcover, but I'm sure you can get it in trade for a way cheaper. The next one I want to talk about is a book that came out several years ago that Tiffany, my girlfriend, is a huge fan of, and it actually was her gateway book to books by Brian K. Vaughan. This is Doctor Strange's The Oath by Brian K. Vaughan, art by Marcos Martin. This book is a fantastic gateway book if you are in any way interested in Doctor Strange. It harkens back to this simplicity of the Steve Ditko-esque era of art, and it's a terrific launch pad for getting into Doctor Strange. It's one part mystery, one part magic, one part origin story. You never get to see Doctor Strange actually being utilized in the proper way. He's never really cool as he looks. He looks awesome. You just look at Doctor Strange and you're like, wow, this guy must be really all about the awesome. And then you read any time he's being used and it's just kind of like, well, yeah, never mind. No, Doctor Strange, The Oath. Brian K. Vaughan gets the voice, he gets the character, he gets the story, and Marcos Martin just does a wonderful job of bringing the life of Doctor Strange and the world of magic to us in such a creative and beautiful way. There's an image where Doctor Strange disposes of a weapon in the most ingenious fashion, and it is one of the most beautiful panels I had seen in years. Definitely for that alone, you should check it out. But enjoy Doctor Strange of the Oath. Do not need to know anything about Doctor Strange. Do not need to know anything about the Marvel Universe for you to pick up Doctor Strange of the Oath and dig the hell out of it. So please, pick it up. 5 out of 5. It is awesome. Doctor Strange the Oath. Finally, this one is an old classic. This one is a book from my personal collection. They all are, but this one is from my personal stash of fantastic stories. This is Jeff Loeb and Tim Sale's Spider-Man Blue. This comes from an era where Jeff Loeb and Tim Sale were working on different Marvel characters, different core characters at Marvel, and playing with a color motif. There was Daredevil Yellow, Hulk Gray, Spider-Man Blue, taking an element of a thematic color and dragging it throughout this several issue story. In the case of Spider-Man Blue, we see the retelling of how Peter Parker and Gwen Stacy fell in love. People are kind of interested in Gwen Stacy now, so it's actually a terrific time to pick this book up if you haven't already. Since the movies are coming out and Gwen Stacy features heavily in them. This book does a wonderful job of kind of romanticizing the Lee Romita era of Spider-Man. It takes these kind of silly, almost shoddy storytelling elements from 60s, 70s era comics and elevates them to this feeling of romance and weight. There are some blemishes, of course. Tim Sale and Jeff Loeb carry with them this element of a mysterious figure in the background who's orchestrating these events, a la The Long Halloween from DC. But you forgive it because it's so fun. Like Peter Parker, the blemishes almost add to the character of the story. So please, if you haven't already, check out Spider-Man Blue. You can get it in the Comixology store, but you can also just pick it up in trade form. I'm sure it's dirt cheap by now. Spider-Man Blue by Jeff Loeb and Tim Sale. Fantastic storytelling, terrific Spider-Man book. I think better than the original, personally. I think that if you try to go back and actually reread the Lee Romita introduction of Gwen Stacy, this also, by the way, introduces Mary Jane Watson and then several other different characters in a really cohesive, beautiful, seamless way. So definitely pick it up and definitely check it out, especially if you have any passing interest in Spider-Man. This book will make you a fan. So definitely check out Spider-Man Blue and all the 3 books that I mentioned in this review, and we will see you next week with a DC Comics Roundup, where I'll talk about 3 volumes that are also 5 out of 5s. Thanks a lot for watching, everybody, and we will see you next time on the Friday Comics Roundup of Sal Says What. And in the next week or so, it'll be Free Comic Book Day on May 4th, and I want you guys to be able to stick to the channel, subscribe, like it, share it on social media, because we're going to be doing a little roundup of Free Comic Book Day from my favorite comic book retailing shop, Funny Books, Comics, and Stuff in Lake Hiawatha, New Jersey. So if you haven't already, check out them in the description box below. It should be a really fantastic time, and I hope you will be able to join us. So thanks a lot for watching again. My name's Sal, and I will see you next time on Sal Says What. And they were all positive books. So there you go. I don't hate everything, even though most of these books came out at least 5 years ago. So whatever. Anyway,